Hey, so this is Jasmine Cisneros doing Project 5, which was supposed to be our artist meetup thing. And anyways, our artist didn't show up, but we contacted her after the fact, and she said she had been busy traveling, and because of her travel, she couldn't really get a hold of good internet access, so she told us she'd be available Wednesday afternoon and the rest of the week through because she'd be back home by then. But yeah, until then, can't do anything but kind of keep doing research on her. So that's what me, Ria, and Gabriel are doing right now. But we came up with questions Thursday in class. Those are it. And we've been taking notes here, other places too. Everybody has our own parts to do. And some of our questions included if she had any assistance when doing her projects, if she used public help or if it was all done by her, which piece of work took her the longest, which piece of work took her the shortest amount of time, what was her inspiration, why she chose yarn to be the medium for her work, just things like that we came up with. And yeah. But anyways, two of her pieces that I don't know if we're supposed to be talking about her pieces of work, but two of her pieces of work that I found interesting was one that she created in 2008 called The Knitted Mile. And in it, she got 90 people to help her from all across North America. And each of these people did a strip of yarn work. And together, they put out all the 90 people's pieces and hers. And they knitted them all together. And they created a long strip of yarn, which was a mile long, which they put down a road as part of a piece, I guess you could say. But they took it down eventually, and it's in a museum right now. But I thought it was cool how so many people can bring it together to create like one thing just for her. Another one was a house study in 2010 where she opened up her studio twice a week during February and January of 2010. And what she did was she let the visitors who came, she let them basically take some of her yarn, which she had hand dyed, and what she asked them to do in return was to knit a hat with the yarn she gave them and bring it back. It was basically a sort of trust connection with her public because they weren't obligated to bring it back. It's not like she was tracking the people, making sure they would bring it back. It was just a trust relation thing. So eventually about 73 hats were returned, and they were all displayed in a museum as part of her piece. And at the end of the day, when it was all done, her and all the people who had knitted hats had like a hat exchange where they all exchanged hats within one another, which I thought was pretty cool. And art reading. Well, before that, for my sketches, I drew the Knitted Mile, which was the one I was talking about. Here's all the yarn. Here's a mile of yarn. And then the other one that I did had been, well, this one I didn't talk about right now, but it was an Unconditional Yes, another piece of work by hers. So yeah. As for the reading was the Nike one. The Nike Ground. I found the Nike Ground piece. At first I was really confused, but I did a little more research on it and I finally understood it. I found it kind of funny how all those people could believe that Nike was kind of gonna take over their town, that their town was gonna be replaced by such a modern a modern entity and replace the history of their old town. And in my perspective, it was kind of like a show with an unaware audience, I guess you could say, because the audience wasn't aware of the role they were playing in the, I guess you could call it a prank, but they weren't aware, and their reaction was what brought it to life, I guess you could say. If the people didn't care about it, like, whatever, okay, we're gonna live in Nike, whatever, Nike Town, or whatever they were gonna call it, it would have been different because there was no point to it. But just the reaction of the audience and the way they responded to it, and the way Nike responded to it as well, brought it all together and made it a success, I guess you could say. But yeah, I found it funny how they would actually think that Nike would take over. So yeah, I think that's all I can talk about. Talked about the questions, talked about a little of the research we did on her, talked about the reading, showed some sketches. Yeah, I'm just hoping we can talk to her on later this week. We were waiting from about 3:30 to 6:30 for her to get online, but yeah, doesn't always work out. So yeah, hope to talk to her Wednesday or Thursday. That's about it I can say. So yeah, my name is Jazz Cisneros, Project 5, and that's about it. Bye.